Guys, the possibilities with Cardarine are endless. They are near endless. This crazy compound could be stacked all sorts of different ways with anabolic steroids, with testosterone, with TRT, with human growth hormone. The different pathways and the different ways you could use this for crazy increases in muscle mass, fat loss, strength, endurance are near endless. And I could do a video talking about this for an hour. It's a feeder hormone, baby, like I said already. It's basically a feeder hormone. I've already explained this. No duh they're gonna split. No duh that's gonna get worse. Those cells are already there. But for somebody, guys, listen up. But for somebody who does not have cancer, you're not gonna have any risk.
You move mountains, kid. You move mountains, kid.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Boom and kaboom. Boom, Seth Spartan here. Guys, today we're going to be getting back with you guys with another quick take. Boom, breaking down a compound in just a few minutes, letting you guys know how this stuff works and answering what everybody's already here for. How does this play out in the real world? So today we're going to be talking about Cardarine, the amazing substance, the SARM, Cardarine, mislabeled as a SARM, but we'll stick with the common labeling. So we're going to break down, guys, exactly how this plays out in the real world in terms of muscle mass, fat loss, strength, sides, negatives, and we'll be talking and touching on endurance and really some crazy stuff that you're not going to hear anywhere else on Cardarine. Now this is, before I get into this, I got to say this. Guys, Cardarine is one of the absolute hardest, and by hardest, I mean hardest compounds, drugs, hormone. It's not really a hormone, but it acts like one. This is one of the hardest things to shoot a video on and talk about because Cardarine has so many amazing, crazy effects just within one compound. It is insane. So, I need to do, or I should do an Unleashed video on this because I don't think I've done an Unleashed video on Cardarine, and this is a hard compound to talk about. There's a ton of stuff, but regardless, I'm gonna do a quick take on Cardarine, telling you guys all the basics, at least the stuff you really need to know, and telling you what other people are not. And guys, yeah, this is gonna be one crazy video. So guys, let's get into Cardarine. Boom. But first, guys, if you want performance doses of TRT, performance TRT, go to my new testosterone HGH replacement clinic over here. Otherwise, if you guys want the best peptides and SARMs on planet Earth, we've got Pure Raws and Peptide Pro. Links and coupon codes for both, baby, are in the comments. All right, let's get rocking and rolling and get started on Cardarine. And we just smashed shoulders, so that's why they're popping, baby, all day, every day. All right, let's get cooking. So we're going to start off what other people aren't going to tell you about Cardarine, okay? What is Cardarine? Like, what is it really? There's only two things in our science column that I really want to touch on. I was going through the research, going through the studies. There's two really big things in terms of the science that I want to touch on. And then forgetting that, we're going to go in the real world and talk about how this plays out, because that's what everybody wants to really know at the end of the day, right? What is the big thing that other people are not going to tell you? But Seth Spartan is going to tell you. Listen up. Cardarine is a feeder hormone, okay? And I say hormone because it's technically not a hormone. It's a drug. People call it a SARM. It's not a SARM. It's not a hormone. It's a drug. However, I call it a feeder hormone. Why? Well, because this compound, this drug, has some crazy effects like a hormone in terms of acting on different cells and mechanisms. However, why do you call it a feeder? So why are you naming this a feeder hormone? So this is what I'm going to talk about right now. Anytime you have an action on the human body which by metabolism is rocketing up and you're driving nutrients, we're talking fats, glucose. It is feeding the metabolism. And if you don't give it food, it's going to feed your metabolism with what? With your own body fat. We have actions direct on the mitochondria. We have actions direct on the fat and lipid oxidation. And we have effects direct on AMP, spiking through the roof insulin sensitivity, just like metformin or other compounds insulin would, okay? Reducing insulin resistance and increasing insulin sensitivity. But why is it a feeder hormone to sum things up? It's a feeder hormone because it is feeding, literally feeding the body, all the cells, all the tissues, energy, okay? And if you're not supplying it with energy, it's going to use your own body fat and your own resources. This is we're going to have to do another video on this, baby. And guys, whatever video you want me to do next for a quick take, comment in the comments what you want me to do next, because I'm really just going by what you guys want in the comments. All right, moving on. What is the second thing? Other people are not going to tell you. Three-pronged attack. Cardarine acts and has all its magical, wonderful stuff. All right, all the benefits we're going to get into in a second. This crazy drug, this crazy compound works how? With a three-pronged attack. Three-pronged attack. How so? One, Cardarine has a direct, not indirect, direct effect on the cell mitochondria, okay? Increasing biogenesis of the mitochondria. You're speeding it up, and also, I would argue, not just speeding it up by biogenesis, but also a direct action on the mitochondria, much like you would get when doing the carnivore diet. You're going to increase mitochondrial density, and I believe that still occurs in Cardarine, especially at higher dosages. Okay, so we're talking, Cardarine, direct effect on mitochondria, speeding up and shuttling nutrients into the mitochondria. It's going into overdrive via biogenesis, and also at higher dosages, guaranteed, I'm going to guarantee it, also you're increasing mitochondrial density, increasing that size of it, okay, like you would if you do carnivore for long periods of time like I've done. All right, having said that, we got the direct effect. This is the three-pronged attack. Direct effect on mitochondria. Next effect, direct on AMP, increasing what? Insulin sensitivity and decreasing insulin resistance. What does that even mean, Seth Spartan? What does that even mean? That means that insulin levels systemically will be lower. You're going to burn more fat because less insulin is at your blood at any given time. Being more insulin sensitive also means that if you are eating a lot of carbs, a little bit of insulin dumps in your bloodstream, clears it out right away, so you're burning more fat. Total, baby. Over the course of the day, I guess people don't really understand how having a higher insulin sensitivity means you burn more fat. Because let's say you eat the same, let's say you eat the same amount of calories. One person has high insulin sensitivity and one person doesn't. Okay? And it's just flopped if we're talking about insulin resistance. So what happens? The person, we got twins, one is insulin sensitive, one's not. The one that is insulin sensitive is what? Going to have lower insulin levels first and often foremost, and thereby what? Also, that's going to let more fat flow out of their fat cells to be able to be burned for fuel. Second, when they eat because they're eating the same diet, okay, in our hypothetical situation, the person eating let's say carbs, fats, guess what? And the glucose will have to be lowered after the meal. What's going to happen? The insulin sensitive person only is going to have to produce a little bit of insulin, and it's going to be effectively shuttled in with no remaining insulin, versus the the person that has the low insulin sensitivity. It's going to be messy. Their pancreas will have to produce a lot of insulin, and then you're going to get a lot more fat storage. Okay, that's really summarized. And then the last direct effect of Cardarine is what? The direct effect on lipid oxidation. It's going to create lipid oxidation. Direct effect on that, freeing out fatty acids and really doing what? Burning fuel. Okay, so it's a three-pronged attack. Okay, so let's answer the question: what you guys really want to know and what you're here for. Baby, let's go. Muscle mass. How is Cardarine for muscle mass? It's good. What are you talking about? It's not a steroid. Guys, the possibilities with Cardarine are endless. They are near endless. This crazy compound could be stacked all sorts of different ways with anabolic steroids, with testosterone, with TRT, with human growth hormone. The different pathways and the different ways you could use this for crazy increases in muscle mass, fat loss, strength, endurance are near endless. And I could do a video talking about this for an hour. But since I'm already making this we're going from a quick take into a longer take, which I don't want to do. We're going to keep this short and sweet, baby. So in terms of muscle mass, Cardarine is a good muscle mass tool to have in the toolbox. Is it as anabolic as testosterone? Of course not. It's not like that, all right? It is not an anabolic agent. However, in terms of effects and potential effects, I'm going to say that it's good for muscle mass. And even if you're a natty, being able to train way harder, being able to utilize more energy, both from fat and also food you're taking in your diet, is priceless, okay? In terms of being able to put on muscle mass. So maybe not priceless, but you guys get the idea what I'm trying to say here. Again, being a feeder hormone, right? So in terms of muscle mass, I'm gonna say, okay, we have a little bit in terms of muscle mass, but in the possibilities are near endless if we're going to talk about testosterone, anabolics, HGH, and the different ways this crazy compound can be used. Okay, this works through so many different mechanisms, so it's hard to put a finger on it for a quick take. Moving on. Fat loss, baby. What about fat loss? Cardarine for fat loss. Insane. If this is used correctly, and if you're on the right diet, the fat loss will be insane, especially if it's stacked with something like carnitine. Or you could just eat basically only red meat for your meats, and you're getting all that good bioavailable, bioactive L-carnitine naturally occurring in your red meat. And that's why red meat is better than white meats. It's packed full of L-carnitine, which increases not just fat burning in the mitochondria, but also your sensitivity of testosterone to your androgen receptor sites. That's a whole nother video. So fat loss, amazing, right? Right, moving into strength, baby. What about strength? What about strength? Just like muscle mass, the possibilities are endless in terms of potential tools with testosterone, anabolics, HGH, and the different ways we could really use this hormone, okay? However, direct effects on strength, minimal, okay, by itself. But, well, they're going to be noticeable effects on strength if you're going to use this correctly with the training program and your diet, okay? Again, it's being a feeder hormone. And in some way, guys, surprisingly, this compound, this SARM, it's mislabeled as SARM, it's really a drug, right? But this SARM is going to have some good effects on strength in terms of what? Acting kind of like in the same way as insulin, being a compound that can feed the human body, feed the metabolism, feed the cells, feed the muscles. If you're not supplying it through your diet, it's going to feed it with what it has available in fat stores and anywhere else on the body it can grab it from, right? We talked about that. All right, let's get into endurance real quick and end with sides and negatives. All right, baby. Cardarine. What about endurance? I guess this is probably the easiest way. Endurance is going to be through the roof. In the same way that L-carnitine, Cardarine has an even higher potential, okay? Dosages could be used anywhere from 1 to 10 milligrams safely. We see that in studies, okay? Daily. Take it in the morning, duh. But I know people that have used this up to 30 milligrams. You know, people have used this up to 30 milligrams, some even higher per day. I always go on the low side. I'm going to say we only have studies, 1 to 10 milligrams. You want to go to 10, so be it. And you want to experiment, you want to push it, so be it. But I don't know at the end of the day, okay, guys? All right? I wouldn't go over 10. If you want to go up to 20, you could do that. Use your own discernment. Guys, the shame with this compound is really this. We don't have enough research on it. We don't have enough studies on it because they shut it down because of one stupid reason, which we're going to get into, with sides and negatives. There's really no sides. There's really no negatives with this compound, or very minimal. You know, liver, you'd have to take way too much for it to hurt your liver. You'd have to take way too much to do this, to do that. So at normal dosages, there's almost no sides with this compound, at least that we've seen, okay? Besides what? The one thing people always bring up, cancer, all right? Oh, you could cause this growth, that growth. Oh, it could cause cancer in this way. Guys, people are missing one huge fact. They were doing this on existing cells. They were testing Cardarine on existing cells. They were testing them on existing cancer cells. So what does this mean here? It means that all these scare tactics, it's getting late, guys. I've had a busy day. I'm sorry for butchering. But that means that all these scare tactics, all these scare, you're gonna die from it. They're not right. They're not accurate. They were testing. Look at the study. And this has been noted by other scientists. It's not accurate. Why? Because they were testing it on existing cells, existing cancer cells, all right? So, yeah, of course it's gonna proliferate them and cause them to multiply. It's a feeder hormone, baby, like I said already. It's basically a feeder hormone. I've already explained this. No duh, they're gonna split. No duh, that's gonna get worse. Those cells are already there. But for somebody, guys, listen up. But for somebody who does not have cancer, you're not gonna have any risk. I mean, don't like hang me out to dry on that statement, but there's very, very little risk for somebody who doesn't have that disease because they were testing it on existing cells. No duh, it's gonna get worse. What do you think happens? You can't try giving performance dosages of HGH, human growth hormone, to somebody that has cancer. Is it going to get worse? No, duh, it is. It's going to proliferate them and split cells. Of course it is. The same thing with Cardarine. That's what drives me nuts. So with these scare tactics and, they stopped research because it made cancer worse. You're testing them on existing cells. Stupid. All right? So don't hang me out to dry over this if there's something I missed in this study. But I'm seeing other scientists calling out the people who are running this study because it's biased. All right? Is it likely safe? Most likely it's safe. Do your research, dive into this. This is a hard video to make because this compound is complex. There's tons of different uses for it. There's tons of different mechanisms by which it works through. But one thing's for sure, it's effective and it's powerful if used correctly. Seth Spartan, stay safe, stay healthy, baby. Keep the questions coming. Tell me what video you want to get me to do next. And we're going to keep doing these quick takes. We're out, baby.